Alright, Adventures with Ola. Trying out this camera. You know, I'm going abroad. I'm actually going to China tomorrow. Holy shit. So I'm trying to work up this camera. This is a smaller Sony camera that I've had for a while, but, you know, haven't really used that much. I've been using it for vlogging before, and it seems to be working good. I'm using this gimbal as well, making it look smooth and nice like this. But the actual reason for me making this video is not about this camera. No. What I'm actually gonna do in China is that I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna perform a little bit. And I haven't necessarily performed my own shit in a good while in front of people. So I need to figure out some sort of a setup for me that I can use when I'm, doing clinics and whatnot. So I figured I would try and set something up. Let me hide some secret shit first. So before, when I've been doing clinics, I think when was the last time I did a clinic? Like 2 or 3 years ago. I was using strictly plugins and my computer. I was using my UAD Aero interface and my Macbook Air, basically. And that has worked really well. The only downside with this is that even though you get zero latency, like close to zero latency, there's still a small bit of latency. So I figured I would do a new setup today, an even simpler one probably, and try it out. You know, I need to start practice again. Holy shit. So my new setup will consist of the Chug pedal and a UAD Volt 1, which is like a single input audio interface. You know, since I'm only gonna chug and absolutely nothing else, I figured let's just bring a Chug pedal and use that as a preamp, and then I use an impulse response in Logic and just run all my backing tracks from there. So that's what I'm gonna try out today. Hook everything in, see if I can make a chug or not. I don't know. It's not super easy to handle a gimbal, you know, and but it makes the videos look really pro and nice and smooth. Also, I'm trying out how the microphone for this camera sounds. Are you sounding good? I really hope you do. Alright. Coffee. Alright, I have a computer. Let me plug in the audio interface, and I figured I would probably mount this audio interface onto the pedal board right here. So, you know, there's as little cable as possible in this setup. So the idea would have to have my guitar go into the Chug pedal, and the Chug pedal goes straight into this audio interface, and I would use the impulse response in Logic Pro X. How should I go about this? Chug pedal into audio interface. Cable is too short. God damn it. And you know, I completely love to do shit like this. I love to figure shit out to make up new rigs and new cool solutions for, you know, either playing live with the Hana, doing my clinics. The challenge to have as small of a rig as possible, you know, for a fly-in show, so I can, you know, don't have to bring as much shit with me. Obviously with this, I'm also going to use my in-ear equipment, so I'm going to put my in-ear box right there, and that, you know, everything on this pedal board basically. But as of right now, I'm just trying to figure out my situation with this. I see now that the USB cable right there is a little bit damaged. That just adds a little bit to the excitement. Oh shit. And you might wonder, okay, how do I hook it up to a whatever PA or whatever I'm playing through? Then, you know, obviously I would use the main outputs on the audio interface going into the PA, and then I had a headphone output going to my in-ear system. I've been doing this a little bit with my UAD Aero, so it's not completely, you know, unfamiliar. And here is the dog. Are you gonna help? Hey. And the dog comes to help. Hey, boy. Have you eaten shit today? This is my dog. Her name is Pigs. One day she might eat my face. So, connecting my guitar into the Chug pedal, and then I'm gonna figure out like a project in Logic Pro X. I'm gonna put on my microphone so you guys can hear me proper, okay? All right, so I want to start completely from scratch. So I open up a completely new project. Let's do, how many tracks? Maybe 4, I don't know. I want to have backing tracks on one, so backing tracks like this. Adding one of the Chug songs in here. Let's check it out. Okay, change project, I guess. All right, so we have the music going. That's good. Now we need to figure out the guitar. So I'm gonna create an auxiliary input And I'm going to use the Volt input number 1. It's going to be mono, right? So my guitar goes into the Chug pedal right there, and then that goes into the Volt. I'm not using any type of gain on the input or anything. There you go. That's the Chug pedal without an impulse response. So we're going to add an impulse response to this. And I'm not going to use any of the neural DSP loaders or anything like that. I'm going to use the built-in space designer in Logic. Why? It's because it's very fast and very cool. It's something you would normally use for reverb, but at this point, you know, when you load up like a church reverb, for instance, that's basically like an impulse response, you know. So we're going to load up one of my own impulse responses. So this is probably going to be my main tone right here. And at this point, you know, I'm checking the processing power being used by my MacBook Mini, and it's like, it's nothing basically. And the latency is basically 0. It's so freaking good. All right, so if we play the song, I probably need a limiter on the output as well, so I'm putting on one of my favorite, the FabFilter Pro L. Just to limit a little bit, like this, boom, beam, bam, so we don't get too much of distortion and shit. Okay, I hear immediately I need to turn down the backing track. Okay, see? That sounds pretty good, man. So, obviously, you know, I'm gonna use this as my main tone right here. So, I can't use cleans, so I'm not gonna use cleans, okay? I'm only gonna be in Chug mode forever, okay? But I want to make a lead tone because obviously I'm gonna play lead tones as well. So I figured, okay, how do I do this with, you know, a set preamp pedal and just an impulse response? Well, I would use automation, obviously. I made a video about this where maybe I add a little bit of a boost to the tone and maybe a little bit of delay. So let me open up first and foremost, delay, very important. Let's do stereo delay. Boom. So very cool, very simple like that. And then I also would want to have a little bit of an EQ boost because right now my tone is pretty scooped. Okay. There's a little bit of noise. Can you hear that? Let's add some noise, Kate. Gone. Great. So I might want to have a little bit of more mids. So basically, I would use an EQ to change the tone completely and then add a little bit of a gain boost when the solo kicks in. And now just to quickly show you how I would go about automating this. So the guitar put is right here, as you can see. But I don't want the delay and the EQ to be on at all times, so I'm gonna shut that off by using main channel EQ. That's going to be on a bypass at all times. So see ya, bypassed. And then we have the delay also going to be bypassed. See? So right here, nothing, right? But as soon as the solo comes in, okay, so right there, we bring in the EQ and we bring in the delay. So right there on that moment, it should change. Yes. Did I tell you that I needed to practice and remember the songs? Yes. So very cool. As easy as that, I made an automation for this. And you know, how simple was this, man? And also another thing I would want to do as well, because I don't want to bring, you know, 5 or 6 different guitars. I want to bring 1 or 2 guitars that would cover my needs. I would probably take 1 7-string with me. That's one right there. And then, you know, a 6-string that I can use as well. Maybe even a 3rd guitar or something like that. But I would want to kind of step up and down a little bit in tunings with my 2 guitars. So I was wondering, because this would happen after the Chug now. So, how will that work? I would normally use a whammy before the Chug pedal, but let's try and see how it works now. Pedal boards, mono. I'll just use a whammy right here. Is that a whammy? Look at that. Okay, so there's a fair bit of artifacts going around right there. Let me just tune it down. A half step. Not too bad actually, but there is some artifacts happening. So let's try something else. Okay, that was the pedal board. Let's try the built-in pitch shifter, or yeah, pitch shifter. So let's do this, semitone, do -1, mix. I usually do drums. You can definitely hear something happening here as well, listen. Okay, so last I'm gonna try one of the Neural DSP archetype Petrucci. It has a really good transposer built in. Okay, let's transpose this. There's also a little bit of artifacts happening right here. What? Let's go a full step down. Not too bad. Let's go up, see what happens. I think out of all of them, the archetype transposer sounded the best, but it absolutely adds way more processing to the whole equations. Holy shit, that was so easy, you guys. So the settings of the Chug right there, can you see that? Basically, oh shit, game on almost max. I can probably turn that down a little bit. The high F gain at 3 o'clock, low F gain at 12 o'clock. We have bass and depth around 4 o'clock, mids at 1, treble and presence at 12 o'clock. So fairly simple in terms of the, yes. Okay, and here's the audio interface right there. Look at that. Gain is at 0. That's, yeah. Holy shit. That's it. That's the little setup right there for, you know, my small little Chug clinics. How about that? That's actually kind of exciting. Anyways, guys, that's my little adventure with Ola. I'll see you soon, okay? Goodbye.